Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to join with you again. We are here. And as always, let us all come together in this moment now. Just center in to this moment now, letting go of all of the busyness of the mind, all thoughts of distraction. Just be here now and breathe and relax. Be present here in the presence of all that truly is, which is love. And now. So, we are here, and you are as well. So, at this time, what we'd like to talk about really is what is going on here and now. Always, when you're in the now, you have access to all love, because all that you experience is love here and now. That means quiet mind. That means stillness of being. That means simply being as you truly are, which is always present now. Now, of course, what is going on around the world may have distracted you from your present moment. But we are going to tell you now is the time to devote yourself to more paying attention to the present moment now rather than the outer experience going on. This is the opportunity you have been asking for, and we are going to say you have been asking for this opportunity. In fact, you have actually been asking for this experience. You've been asking for more rest from the world, less busyness, and more time that you can spend going within. And now, with that in mind, you can enter into each day with an intention to spend more time going within, more from a place of introspection rather than outward looking or outward seeking, because outward seeking has never gotten you anywhere. It's never brought you anything. It really hasn't. Well, if it brought you, and it is nothing that it brings you, it would be feelings of anxiety, feelings of turmoil, upset, and so on, loss. But now is the time to get to know your true self, which is always here and now with you. You are not separate from it, and it is not separate from you. It is not separate from your Creator. And so there is only oneness in truth. And you want to experience that. Now you have the opportunity to put more of your focus on that, more of your focus on aligning with who you really are. And yes, we are aware of all the seeming chaos that seems to be going on right now. And the mind that tells you, how can you stay in peace? How can you be in the now with all of this going on? And we're saying again, now is the perfect opportunity to look that right in the face and say, now is the perfect time. Now is the perfect opportunity for me to actually center in and find out what's really going on. Because what's really going on is only what's going on within you, you see. And by within, we are only saying that as a way to guide your mind to, instead of seeking outside yourself, you look for what is truly here and now. And that is all that is. And in this is only love. And that's unconditional love, which also, as you are aware, is peace and joy and freedom and light and all of that. So now is the time to make a different decision in your life, where once you may have reacted with judgment or condemnation, instead you are now turning to feelings of love, noticing that the world is really a giant call for love. And what can you give to the world but love? You see, that's what you really want to do. You really want to set the ego mind aside, the confusion aside, and say, I'm choosing to go forward and only extend love. Because that is what the world is asking for, and that is what I am asking for. Because this is my mind. And my mind is asking for more love. So rather than condemning, you want to find compassion within yourself. And rather than judgment, you want to find understanding. You want to extend understanding, extend compassion, all of which is part of unconditional love. And yes, it is that simple. It really is. What it takes, though, is you're practicing this into a pattern or way of being. You see, rather than going down the known ways of reacting to situations, stop for a moment and just breathe and remind yourself of love. How would love respond in this situation? How does love look at this? What would love give but more of itself, which is love? You see? So, this is the time where you want to extend what you want to feel, you see? You certainly do not actually want to feel rage or upset or anxiety. You certainly do not really want to be in fear. You certainly don't actually want to be frightened. You actually know that you don't want to remain in separation. You want to experience the wholeness of who you really are, which is love, you see. That's what you really want. And of course, there are thoughts in your mind. They could be coming up right now and say, well, actually, that's not necessarily true because I have this feeling, you see. And we're saying, well, that feeling is a bad habit or an old habit, one that you're ready to let go of, one that you're ready to just let go. It's merely that, a habit. All habits can be changed. Just as we say, all thoughts can be changed. And remember, you can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, always. So, this is the time to take responsibility for your mind, meaning be more aware of the energy that you are sending out into the world and realize what you actually want to send out into the world is what you want to receive back to you. Because as we have said as well, giving and receiving is one. It is the same. So if you are always giving out the energy of anxiety, you're going to experience anxiety all over the place. But if you are giving out love all the time and understanding and compassion, that's exactly what you will begin to experience coming back to you. That's simply the way that it works. And you can't argue with that. If you argue with it, you're going to get arguments, you see. So, what do you want to experience? And we're telling you the world is asking for love. That's what the world is crying out for right now. That's what you are crying out for right now. And that's the only answer there is, love. So, at this time, that's what we are going to say to you. And by the way, that's never going to change. It's always going to be about love and extending love, giving more love, because that's what love does. Love gives more of itself to itself and then receives back more of itself, which is only unconditional love. There is no judgment in that at all. It simply is what it is and nothing else. So, we are ready at any moment for questions. Yes.
I have an online question. Not long ago, some friends of mine had lost their 7-day-old baby due to major birth complications. Could you please reflect as to what can be learned or taken from such a heart-wrenching situation?
Well, first of all, the thing is, when you believe that you are a body or that anyone else is a body, it can feel, as you were saying, heart-wrenching or like a tragedy when a body dies, when a body leaves. But we want you to recognize the truth of this really is that nothing has actually happened because the child was not a body. The child is not a body, so nothing is actually lost. What you can learn from this depends on your state of mind in the moment. And so we can't tell you what was going on in the minds of those who are experiencing this. Only they can intuitively tune within themselves and see what was going on in themselves. Does this make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
Second question. When we align ourselves with Holy Spirit and lessen the need for time, does this make the world, as seen through the body's eyes, a seemingly more harmonious place?
We'll put this in a different way. When you give it to the Holy Spirit and you align your mind with the Holy Spirit, your physical eyes may still seem to see the same things. You see, it still may seem to see what you previously thought of as lack of harmony, but in the sense of this, you now understand it differently. You see it differently. And it is no longer without harmony because you can understand what is going on. You choose again. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
It is all about changing your mind about the situation rather than changing the situation. Because the situations that you see may not change. And sometimes it does manifest in the physical illusion, but not always. What it is you are aware of what is really real, and you recognize that which is illusion as it is, just illusion. And you don't take it personally anymore, but instead see it as an opportunity to change your mind about whatever it is that your eyes are bringing to you, if it is out of harmony in your mind. Does this make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So,
This was a question that was sent to us ahead of time. Do we as human beings with free will always have a choice, or is God's will always the outcome? Do we have choice in that?
in truth, there is no choice. And when we say in truth, that means who you really are. It doesn't see choices. You see, there's only one. So there is not, I have to choose between this and this and this. But here in the illusion, you are given things such as opposites. And so you train your mind into what actually you feel in alignment with your creator about. Does this make sense? And so free will, true and real free will, is you without confusion, you without the illusion, you as you truly are. Does this make sense? That's real free will. Free will is unencumbered, you see. That's what free will actually means. But here in the illusion, it's you can pick and choose, you see. It's the illusion of being able to pick and choose. Does this make sense?
Yes, but I guess we tend to get free will confused with choice.
Correct. As we were saying, true free will is you without opposites, you see. It's just one focus, and that's it, just oneness. Does this make sense? And so the other part of the question about, please read that part.
Is God's will always the outcome?
And for this, we are going to say in the illusion, not really. As you can see right now, the world around you, not God's will. Does this make sense? But God's will, God's actual will, is always the outcome, because you always return to who you really are. You always return because you have never really left, you see. And so God knows you as you are, holds you as you are, always unchangeable. And so that is the ultimate inevitable, you see. So, but in the illusion, it's not always God's will. Does this make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have an online question. I am reading Irina Tweedy's 5-year diary of her study under a Sufi master as she becomes a Sufi master. It appears to be a particular approach that has a lot of personal suffering and intense longing for God at its core. Am I correct in assuming that this is but one approach of many that lead to the same place, and that ACIM is a type of different path?
There is only one path. All paths lead back to God. But yes, there are different variations, so to speak, or what seem to be different variations. Does this make sense?
Waiting in an answer. Yes.
Wonderful. Now we are going to say, do not judge this individual's experience and what they are putting down at all, but whatever resonates best with you is the path to take. Remember that all paths do inevitably lead back to God. But you really want to go down the path of alignment with your Creator, which does not entail suffering. We'll say this because suffering actually comes from the ego, you see. So the only thing that you experience that seems to suffer would be the ego, not who you really are. Does this make sense? So truly you find God truly in love, in your attention to love, and in your decision for love, in your decision for peace. Does this make sense? But at the same time, do not judge yourself or your experience. We just want to make that clear. Does this make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Wonderful, and thank you. One thing we would like to say is the suffering that's being spoken of is not being in the world. Does this make sense? What we're trying to say, how can we put this in such a way that the world itself is actually suffering? Does this make sense? The world, the illusion, is suffering, whereas God is love, you see. And as you go along, if you find yourself feeling feelings of suffering, you give it up. You give it up because it is not part of you. And what you really want is to align with who you really are and all that you truly are, which is love and which is unconditional. So we hope that that makes sense. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have another question sent in ahead of time. I believe that when I don't learn the lessons of this lifetime, they will be offered to me time after time until the lesson is learned. Is this true? And how will I know when these lessons are successfully completed?
So yes, the first part. Please state again.
That if I don't learn lessons of this lifetime, they'll be offered to me
Again and again and again and again. In fact, they will continue to come to you in different ways for you to pay attention to them and choose again. Yes. And the next part of when will I know that I'm done? You'll know that you're done because you'll no longer experience them. They will no longer come. But it won't be because you are noticing anything about it. You'll forget about them. You will just have let them go. So they no longer appear to you. And maybe at some point you say, that no longer appears to me. I'm moving on. Does this make sense?
It does. I've had the experience of having some pain or discomfort and going to a healer for it. And one day realizing that it was gone. I hadn't even thought about it for a long time. So that's the kind of thing that we experience.
Yes, indeed. Because once it has left the mind and is no longer there, then it has been taken care of, you see. It is gone, meaning you have let it go. You have let it go, but you have to be the one to let it go. You see? So,
Thank you.
thank you. Yes.
In a recent night dream, there were a group of beings, some of which had sparkling, blazing faces, and I felt that they were energetically bullying. And then a doctor came in and massaged my shoulders, and I felt at ease. Later in the dream, I was zooming around the beautiful landscape and through various membranes. It is all one. So are these beings just fearful projections of my own mind?
Yes.
I would love any insights into who and what these beings may be.
That's exactly it. They are thoughts. They are thoughts. They are thoughts that appear to be outside of you, but they are not. They are just merely thoughts and old beliefs coming up. And the doctor who came to relax you says, relax, they aren't even real. Don't give them a time of day. They are nothing. The less you pay attention to them, the more they are not there for you. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's a question. You have said that we do not create anything in this dream, but we only make things. What about the creation of our children or other loving creations, like doing loving things for others? Are these also part of the illusion, or are they real because they were created with God?
Love is extension, which is real and true creation, you see. Making is that which is ephemeral. Does this make sense? Anything that is eternal is truly created, which is, just take yourself, for example. You as spirit, you are a creation. Love is, and love is all that is, you see. So when you are in alignment with your creator, which is love, then you extend love. And that's a continuation of a creation, you see. But it doesn't necessarily mean anything physically here in the illusion. The illusion is the illusion, you see. So you're only making things up in the illusion. Does this make sense? But you extend creation, which is love, when you align with the extension of love. And that is true creation. Don't get hung up on creating and being creative and artistic and all of that. And how does that apply with that? Don't get hung up on that. That's just getting into semantics. But really, true creation is eternal, you see. Everything else is you making things up. Some things last longer in the illusion than others, but nothing here is eternal. Yes.
So sometimes children's bodies are made. We make
Correct.
these bodies sometimes with love and sometimes with not. And so, but
everything is actually made with love. At its actual core, you see. Does this make sense?
Well, not always in the illusion.
Yes, but that's the illusion.
Yeah, that's what I
The
mean.
illusion says that there can be the opposite of love, that I can make something that is not love. You can think that you're making something that is not love. What it is that you have lost awareness of the presence of love, which is always and eternal, you see.
Yes.
So that's what we mean by everything is actually made in love, or yes, made in love is because there is no absence of love, you see. Of course, there are activities and such that seem to be not of love, absolutely. But does that mean that love is not present? No. Love is always present. It's just a loss of awareness of the presence of love, that you don't recognize its presence. So, does this answer your question?
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. There's a question there.
I have an online question. It is said that the world is an illusion, yet it feels like even the illusion or perception of a world of multiplicity is still something happening, not what it would present itself to be, but something nonetheless. Are we not always ever confronted with and are direct, intimate, seamless aspects of the great oneness wherever we may appear to be?
Ask the first part of the question again.
It is said that the world is an illusion, yet it feels like even the illusion or perception of a world of multiplicity is still something happening.
It's all illusion, number one.
Thank
You seem to think that it's happening, but it's actually not. It feels like it's happening. So in your experience, that seems to be happening, you see. And because you believe that it's happening, it's stronger of a happening in you. Does this make sense? We hope that's clear.
Yes, thanks.
Wonderful.
Question. It seems to me that we really know very little on the spiritual level. I have often thought that there are many things in God's universe that we will never know, and maybe we aren't meant to know. Would you please comment on this idea?
Let's see. At the beginning.
It would seem to the questioner that we really know very little on the spiritual level.
Right now, yes. Yes. But who you really are knows all, you see. And so the other part of the question being, are you not meant to know everything? Well, let's have you look at it this way. God, which is all that is, encompasses all. How can God not know of itself? Does this make sense? So once you return completely to your awareness in God, as you truly are, all is known. So, but it is only here that you think that you are without some of it. Does this make sense? Wonderful.
We get confused. We still confuse our little selves that we made up here
Yes.
as ourselves. Yeah.
Yes.
Another online question. I get really confused as to the point of all of this. It's completely illusory. Our goal is to disappear the world. What is the point of participating or quote unquote fighting for survival?
First of all, we love you so much. There is no point to fighting for survival. You can't fight for survival. You simply are. You are eternal. Meaning there's nothing to fight for. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Wonderful. Did this answer your question?
Waiting for an answer.
You are here to extend love. You really are. You might have forgotten that, but what you came here for is to represent love, you see. You came to play your part in love by extending love.
Another question. If we return to the earth plane after we make our transition, what some call dying, will we be joined by the same people lifetime after lifetime?
Not necessarily. We are going to say that typically you travel in groups, that you make a plan as one to enter into this illusion together. You will find one another, which will awaken some aspect of you. Does this make sense? And that's really what it is for learning purposes, to come home, you see, to remember who you really are. And you travel together, you see. And it might be different other times. Does this make sense? Meaning, perhaps once you were with one who is physical in the illusion, will next time not be physical, but still with you. Does this make sense?
As a guide? Or?
Yes, as a guide. But in truth, you are all really walking each other home. You are all guiding each other home. Does this make sense?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another online question. The book, quote unquote, You Can Heal Your Body, suggests that certain types of thoughts consistently make certain types of ills or disease. When we are trying to, quote unquote, heal our thoughts, does it make sense to use that as a guide?
Are you asking about the book, or are you asking about thoughts?
It suggests that certain types of thoughts consistently make certain types of ills or disease.
It seems to be that, yes.
So does it make sense to use that as a guide?
The book? That's what we're asking. Are you
Yeah.
talking about the book as a guide?
Yeah, what the book said.
If it is helpful, then yes. But if it does not feel helpful, then no. But what we really want you to tune into is your own intuition, you see. So as you read this book, pay attention to your own intuitive guidance throughout it. Does this make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. So another one asked in regards to that, for example, dodging COVID. So free only applies when we choose to begin the journey home and not what the journey will entail.
Please say that again. We
Free.
couldn't hear you.
I guess it's the free. I guess it does it. I don't understand it completely. Free will.
Free will what? Sorry.
So free only applies to when we choose to begin the journey home and not what the journey will entail.
No. True free will that we were speaking of earlier is you as you truly are, which just is what is, as you truly are, your true identity. That's free will, meaning without limitations. And the other part of this question.
That's the other question was in relationship to the previous question on healing your body with your thoughts, and the question was probably using dodging COVID as an example. So it's mostly a statement of fighting for survival, dodging COVID.
The way to dodge COVID is to stop thinking of it as being anything to you. Do the obvious steps that are being given to aid in the physical. Does this make sense? Meaning washing your hands, as they are saying, social distancing, as they are saying, and things of that nature. But what we want you to really realize is you are not a body. You cannot die. The physical body may die, but you, yourself, are eternal. Worries come from concern about the body, not about who you truly are. Does this make sense?
Yes, but why bother aiding the physical if that's the case?
Well, as we said, you're here to extend love. So, do you not want to extend love?
Waiting for an answer.
You truly do want to extend love, so you would take care of the physical in order for you to play your part in extending love. You see, it is only the ego thought that actually wants to destroy the body. Does this make sense to everyone? It is always the ego that says to kill you is to kill the body. And so it will tempt you to go down that road when really your creator says, extend love. Have compassion for yourself, have compassion for all, and give only love. Yes.
I feel as if the most loving thing would be to get rid of the body.
That's not the most loving thing, because the most loving thing is to accept what is and embrace what is in love, you see. The ego's version of that would be to get rid of the body. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
What it is you want to experience more love, and you want to extend more love. You really do. You really, really, really do. Forgiveness. And here's the thing. Real love says forgive, you see. Real love is forgiveness, not killing. Does this make sense?
yes, but right now, what is a pandemic. So we are supposed to stay in physical form?
If you are not meant to stay in physical form, naturally the body will go. But that's not a forceful body will go. Does this make sense?
Yes.
It doesn't mean force it to happen. It means forgive what is make peace with what is, and extend only love and be guided by love for the next steps, you see. And we are going to say that love is always going to tell you some kind of forgiveness or an aspect of peace, you see. True peace, which is unconditional, which is one with love. Love does not argue. Love simply accepts and simply extends and gives only itself. Remember, all loving thoughts are real, which means all unloving thoughts are not true or real. Does this make sense?
So we are here to participate in physicality.
In the illusion, yes.
No free will choice with that.
It is a free will choice in the sense of this illusion. Does this make sense to you?
Waiting on an answer. Are we being punished?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. You are not being punished. You are never meant to be punished. Therefore, you are not being punished. To be punished is simply a thought. And as we were saying, all thoughts that hurt can be changed. In fact, all thoughts can be changed. You do want to change your thoughts. You do want to align your thoughts with the thoughts that you share with God, which is only love, which is only that which will uplift, that which will help. Does this make sense?
So we want to make the world a better place or just step over the bodies?
You want to heal your mind and let the bodies go. Stop thinking about the bodies. To think about bodies is anything more than the illusion, is to say that they're more than they are. Bodies are actually nothing. They are thoughts. You seem to be in a body, but you really are not. That is an illusion. Lighten up. Stop taking this world so seriously. Stop taking the body so seriously, you see? You've got to laugh. Laugh a little. The body is nothing. But you are not to mistreat the mind. In fact, you can't truly mistreat the mind because the mind is beyond all of this and is untouched by anything here. But you are not to mistreat the body either, because that's mistreating something you made up, you see. Is that love? Not at all. Would a loving parent hurt a child? You see, something that they made up. A loving parent would do none such thing. Think of it like that. And remember, lighten up. You're taking this world too seriously. You really are. But we are going to say you and half the population of the world, or more than half, actually. We're going to say more than half the population of the world. But now is the time to wake up from this dream of sickness, this dream of contraction, you see, and into a dream of goodness, something closer to heaven. And that will simply become, as you change your mind about the world, then will things change around you, you see. And as we were saying earlier, it doesn't necessarily mean your physical eyes are going to say anything different, but how you greet what the physical eyes give to you will be different because you have made a decision to see it differently. Does this make sense? Meaning You see things like this as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to wake up. Okay, maybe I really don't want to stick it out in this world. And what we mean by that doesn't mean commit suicide. It means you don't want to hang around in the illusion. You want to wake up from the illusion. And to wake up from the illusion is to choose to be the most loving being that you can be, which is to choose to be in alignment with who you really are and extend only love, you see? Anything else is not part of waking up. We are going to say that's going further to sleep, so to speak, and that's an illusion too, you see? So
I do have a comment that says, we need to aid each other because we must ascend together. So opting out just extends the need for time.
say this again, we can't hear you.
We need to aid each other because we must ascend together. So opting out just extends the need for time.
Well, here's the thing. To ascend together, you have to remember that as your mind lightens up, as your mind ascends, with it, everything else ascends because you are one with all. And it may not appear to the physical eyes, to the body's eyes, that that is true. But trust us, it is true. You just have to keep working at it. You still have to keep practicing and practicing and practicing the thoughts that you share with God. Does this make sense? Now, we will say if you want to opt out early in the way that you're saying, we're going to guarantee you you're going to come right back.
Thanks.
We say that lightly because we want you to feel lighthearted. We want you to not take this so seriously. Okay, ascension is lightening up, okay? Ascension is upliftment, you see? Ascension is not a serious endeavor. That's not ascension. You see, ascension is what the word means, ascend, not descend, you see? It is so clear and obvious. The word ascend means go up. So how is that done? You can do it through your feeling. If you're feeling low, what's the next feeling up from that low feeling, you see? And go up the feeling. Does this make sense? And then practice those feelings that feel good more and more, and that will be your new set pattern of thought and feeling, and that will be how you lead your life. Does this make sense? But here's the trick, so to speak, and it's not a trick, it's just practice. You have to practice this day in, day out into being in your experience, you see. You can't say, okay, I'll take one day where I practice this of going up in feeling and then relax and forget about it the next day and expect myself to be as high as I was then. Does this make sense? It is a deliberate practice that you have to do all the time. You see, make a commitment to ascension. You have to make a commitment to going up. You see, to upliftment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a question along this line, and it's also kind of goes to the first question we had about the baby, because I've heard a lot of people ask, not just you, but I've heard others be asked about this, that with children suffering and dying, it's because the children are seen as a body.
As a body, yes.
And so, our heart always goes out to the innocent. But actually, they're as much magnitude as any
Absolutely.
adult you see.
You wouldn't even understand to see the spirit fit in that tiny body, you see. In fact, that's why it just doesn't fit in the body. In fact, you don't fit in a body either. Not really. Not really. That's why we say you seem to be in a body, but you're not. You're not actually in a body. But yes, so sometimes there have been made plans of a child to come in for a certain lesson that the adults, we're going to call them adults because that's just a role, and roles are not real, have been asking for, you see. And so if a child transitions early, that's a lesson. There is a lesson in that in some way, you see. But what the lesson is would depend on those who are going through the experience. There is not a blanket lesson for it. Does this make sense? So
It does, but would there have been people who've walked this earth who it's been very clear that form is not real.
yes,
They can do things like put their handprint in a rock.
yes.
Would a person like that not grieve their child? Or, I mean, would their knowledge of the truth be so strong that they would just know that?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It is natural to grieve when one leaves, you see. It's natural. Does this make sense? What we are trying to say is that the missing of the physical can happen. That feeling can come up. Does this make sense? Do you follow what we're saying?
So, but for instance, when you were walking this earth, you still grieved? Because you knew the truth.
Yes, yes. So yes, we see what you're saying. We're just saying that those who are able to do those extraordinary kinds of, or seemingly extraordinary things, such as putting the hand in the wall or walking through a wall, because there are those who have done that as well. Does that mean that those will not grieve if someone departs? No, not at all. You can still have feelings of missing.
The physical.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yet, one who knows would not go into grieving. Does this make sense? It's just there is a sense of, but it doesn't hang around. And the other thing is one who knows that one who seemed to leave is there with them now. Okay? So let's say one who knows has a child whose body died. There might be a feeling of sadness there, that's natural. But also, there is an awareness of the spirit. And then there is an interaction with the spirit, you see. And it's a deeper interaction than one would have in the physical. Does this make sense? Meaning you can't close a door and expect them to stay out. But yes.
So we'll continue to see form. I mean, as we progress, we'll still continue to see form, but it will be less real to us.
Yes, it will begin to be less and less, and eventually it does go. But as you're going along, as we said, certain things such as your healings wasn't because that suddenly it was, well, sometimes but the healing you had, you forgot about the issue. So there will be something like that, more along that line. Certain aspects will suddenly not be there, but you're not thinking about those aspects anymore. Does this make sense? You won't say, well, where did the physical go? No, you just keep going forward. We hope that's clear.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. So we'll take one more question.
So those of us who understand the Course principles to a certain degree, are we in a position to be able to help those who do not understand what's going on through these perceived, quote, hard times? And is this what is meant by teaching / learning from our brothers and sisters as part of our purpose?
Okay, so as a student of the course, understanding it, of course you can aid, but you have to tune in truly to what Spirit is telling you and how Spirit is telling you to aid or not. Does this make sense? Meaning you become sensitive to what the need of the individual is, rather than assuming you know what the need of the individual is. Does this make sense? It really is a practice of sensitivity to what Spirit is telling you to do. Not assuming that you know what to do because you are a student of the course.
Yes.
Laugh,
Thank you.
laugh, 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 laugh.
Lighten up.
Absolutely. Lighten up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you and thank you. It's a beautiful place. We can end this here. Lightheartedness and feeling uplifted. That's your ticket up, you see. To ascend is to meander up or go up in feeling, you see. So, as we said, remember this. Throughout your experience with anything and anything, can be what's going on right now, can be anytime, this after this, anything. Always extend love. Always tune into yourself and find out what is really being said by Spirit to provide, to share, really, not provide, but to share. Does this make sense? We want you to really become more intuitive with your living here than before. And that's what this experience is an opportunity for, to become more intuitive rather than outwardly focused. Tune into yourself, meditate more, become one with yourself, and be guided by Source, who is love. We love you. You love you. You really do love you. Just trust and breathe. We are always with you. And as always, we thank you for joining with us. You are blessed, and we love you. Namaste.